Dropping enrollment, disappearing curriculum, and a faculty in revolt. These are just a few problems Lincoln University leaders are facing during the college's 150th year.
Tonight, in a special report, ABC 17's Joe McLean asks lawmakers, administrators, and faculty about these issues to find out what's being done and if they're part of a deeper systematic problem.
Lincoln University only graduates a quarter of its students, according to federal statistics. That's the second smallest graduation percentage of Missouri's public four-year colleges. Lincoln also saw a 7% drop in enrollment this semester. These numbers, along with significant internal conflict, has ABC 17 News asking leaders if the historic university is on the right track. 1866 to 2016, Lincoln University has been a fixture of Missouri higher education for a century and a half. 3 weeks ago, the historically black university held a monumental homecoming celebration honoring the longevity of its education and service to the state of Missouri and African-American community. In its 150th year, however, Lincoln's enrollment is shrinking by the semester, most recently a 7% drop in the fall of 2016. This decrease followed a summer in which the college battled mold problems at one of the residence halls. Several students had to be relocated, and some say they suffered respiratory problems. But this year also saw the end of 2 degree programs and 2 sports programs. Associate of Applied Science in Early Childhood Education and the Bachelor of Music Education and emphasis in sacred music were both cut, along with the tennis and baseball programs. Lincoln University President Dr. Kevin Rome says the cuts were simply made because of low participation.
The reality is we have to make some difficult decisions, and we can't not make those decisions because everyone doesn't agree with it.
And Dr. Rome says the lower enrollment number isn't a concern for university leadership. He says it's not a reflection of poor programs, but instead high standards.
If students don't meet the necessary academic progress that we've required, we've been adamant about not allowing them to return to Lincoln University. It's unethical to allow students to take out loans for their parents or supporters to pay for their education if they're not progressing academically.
This summer, the university launched Project Jumpstart, a college readiness program for incoming freshmen. Of the 127 students who participated in the program, 87% returned to Lincoln this fall. On the faculty side, however, Lincoln University's Vice President of Academic Affairs is under scrutiny of staff members who say Dr. Saeed Sewell routinely ignores the faculty's voice.
It was a general feeling that shared governance at the university was breaking down.
A statement by the Faculty Senate submitted to the President's office said of Dr. Sewell, quote, "He has not responded in any substantive way to the concerns expressed by our members. We do not expect any improvement from the current VPAA."
Faculty input was really not being respected, certainly, and to the degree that it was being solicited, it was really just for show.
In a letter responding to the faculty's concerns, Dr. Sewell said, quote, "It is important to note that even after seeking input from various groups, that I, as Vice President of Academic Affairs, have the sole discretion to make decisions in the best interest of the university."
So shared governance means that everyone has input, but you also have certain people who are hired to make decisions. We listen to everyone, but that doesn't mean that you get to determine the outcomes.
Nevertheless, the faculty voted no confidence in the Vice President of Academic Affairs, 88 to 18, an overwhelming majority.
This has turned into an extraordinarily negative environment in terms of faculty morale.
Those morale issues came in the midst of multiple court battles. In May, the Missouri Court of Appeals ruled in favor of Kenneth Ferguson, a former Lincoln employee of 35 years who claimed the university fired him because of his age. And this is just one of several discrimination lawsuits filed against Lincoln University.
We've currently had lawsuits by an African individual, an African-American individual, and a Caucasian individual, all claiming racial discrimination. I do find it highly irregular and unlikely that they all were discriminated against based on racial identity.
Lincoln is one of 2 historically black universities in Missouri, and as a public institution, the college receives just over $18 million from the state annually. That's more than half of its operating budget. With the state's second lowest graduation rate among four-year schools, a dissatisfied faculty, and a shrinking student body, I asked Jefferson City State Senator Mike Kehoe if Lincoln University is measuring up to the state's expectations.
Well, the state has a set of standards that higher education institutions follow. Lincoln has done as well as many of the colleges in the area. There's always some room for fine tuning and for improvement in any organization.
When I spoke to University President Dr. Rome last week, he said he would be addressing the Faculty Senate's concerns about Dr. Sewell before the end of this week. So far, there's been no action.